Welcome inside Madison Square Garden. Matt Schumacher, Megan Caffrey with you. If you stepped away from the TV, you're probably in for a big surprise. Yes, St. John's winners on a 23-0 run to finish the game. We're actually going to throw it to the press conference now where St. John's is victorious.
Pick it. Although in the second half we did a much better job of really making them feel our pressure defense. Fatigue was a factor in this game. I thought they wore down at the end. With 6 minutes to go, I think it's a 10-point game or something like that. And they're 62 to 652, I think. And we go an unbelievable run. I just saw our guys, the energy level just pick up. But it started with our defense. Just first game, you never know how your guys are going to come out, especially in this setting, a tournament setting. I didn't have a clue, but I guess they satisfied me from the standpoint of they actually put together a much better second half than they did the first half.
Questions, please raise your hand. Roger, on the right.
Marcellus, can you describe what it feels like to be in what those last 6 minutes were? 23-0 run to finish the game, 3-pointers fallen. What was that like?
It was a great feeling. I work on my shot every day, so, it didn't surprise me as much. And, my teammates did a good job of finding me in my spots. I had a good spot-up shot. So, like I said, it was great to go out there and go on that run. Coach always, he talks about periods. In practice, we run 4-minute periods, 3-minute periods. And I think we translated what we did in practice to the game. So, the outcome was great.
Andrew, in the middle.
Coach, how are you guys able to turn it around the way you did during the regular season? You've lost a lot of close games. So how difficult was it for you to impress upon these guys it's not over?
Well, it tested my patience, I know that, and I had to constantly preach to these guys, just don't let go of the rope. We're close, guys. We're close, and you could see it because we had. We started getting contributions for some guys that, number one, they hadn't played at all last year, so they were learning their roles. We talk about Marcellus. You talk about Greg Williams, even Rasheed. He had to settle down. The guy that constantly, I think he's the kind of litmus test for our basketball team is Nick Rutherford. When he comes in, things happen, and it seems like he is the energized bunny or whatever. And it just trickles throughout our team. So I think it's just a combination of guys understanding their roles and not getting, so down, because we were losing some close games. And all we had to do is learn how to finish. We were competing at a high level. But I guess to answer your question, we got more guys that are giving us something. I thought our bench played really, really well. We don't wear them down if David doesn't come in and give us those minutes. Damien comes in and gives us those quality minutes. Nick comes off the bench and gives us some quality minutes. So everybody that came in this game contributed in a big way.
In the middle, Zach.
For either coach or the guys, you've lost some games at the Garden like that where you've had leads and haven't been able to finish. Obviously, you didn't lose on a 23-0 run, but what was it like to pull a game like that out at the Garden, especially in the Big East tournament and, the way you did?
I mean, it's an unbelievable feeling, Coach always emphasizes we're never out of games, so, we just go out there, play as hard as we can. I mean, honestly, I don't think anybody knew on the court that we were on a 23-0 run, and it just felt, like we were out there having fun, and, that's how it's supposed to feel.
And I think, it's taking your practice to the game. I think we always talk about that. And I even have to tell them sometimes, don't act like you've never seen that before, or act like you've seen it before, because they'll do something and they just kind of go crazy. And I say, hey, man, we do that every day in practice. So, but to see it in a game, it just tells me that these guys they're playing for each other. I think they're trusting each other offensively, defensively. I thought that last 6 minutes was a classic. I thought, the trapping, the rotation, I just think guys just fixing things on defense. They were rotating in the right place. We got every loose ball. We were getting rebounds. We were in attack mode, and as Marcellus started knocking shots down, we found the mismatch. then guess what? It opened up the lane. And, of course, L.J. Figueroa, he'll shoot it from half court if you let him. But that was the big shot he hit in the corner. And, you know, with the game still in balance, you know, because with Georgetown, they're never out of a game.
Doing three more. 1, 2, 3. Marvin, you're first.
Coach, just to piggyback on that, in the beginning, in the first half, you guys was giving up on the wings and the perimeter. Weak side help wasn't to your liking. Second half, you pushed the tempo, and the paint got restricted. What halftime adjustment did you make and your team make?
If you know what Georgetown was getting, they was getting layups or three-point shots. That's what they were doing. And so I think early in the game we had a little success touching balls and stealing some balls, and I thought we got greedy. And so when you get greedy, guess what? You get out of position. So, you know, we shoot it. We're selling for jump shots. We shoot it, they get it, and they go on the other end, and we're jogging back. So we talked about, hey guys, transition defense is going to be first and foremost. And not only that, let's make sure our pressure is going to be effective and with purpose. That's what, you know. Let's make sure our rotations and take some pride in your defense. I think sometimes, you know, guys have to take some individual pride. And let's say the Allen kid, he was on a roll, run. Somebody got to step up and say, hey, I got him. Well, guess what? At halftime, that's what they said. And then you look at the rebound. I mean, we went small in that game, and I thought it was an effective lineup. We had all those three guards, and LJ was you my power forward, I guess, LJ?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my power forward, and look at the center here, but he's shorter than me.
Roger? Go ahead.
For both of the players, each one of you give your own sort of version of the answer here. You're about to play Creighton. They're the top seed, but they're also a team that you guys just smoked. Do you guys feel like maybe you're on the cusp of something here?
Well, I feel like as a team, we feel like we could beat anybody in the country. And, you know, we're going to just build off this win, the momentum, and we're going to come out and play the style of basketball that we've been playing all year. And if the outcome is a win, then it's a win.
LJ, what do you think?
I mean, we're going to go back to the hotel, get some rest, you know, wake up in the morning. The next game is the biggest game on our schedule, so, you know, we're just going to come in and execute, play high energy, play our type of basketball, and live with the results.
Last question, Adam.
Yeah, guys, just to follow on Roger, I mean, how much confidence do you have playing Creighton here at the Garden on your home court? Also, they don't have Marcus. He's injured. How will that factor into it?
What?
How much confidence do you have playing them here?
I feel we believe we could beat any team. So we're going to take it like it's any team. We're going to have the same preparation. We're going to go in with the same mindset. So.
They got players. Now, I'll jump in that one there. They're a top 10 team, I think. And so, with that being said, you know, Greg has done a great job with that basketball team. I mean, they're the Big East champs. And so it's going to be an awesome challenge, but at the same time, it's a great opportunity, you know, in one of the greatest tournaments there is, the Big East tournament. So we look forward to the opportunity and the challenge.
St. John's, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Garden, Matt Schumacher, Megan Caffrey. Megan, we got a chance to hear from Coach, got a chance to hear from L.J. Figueroa, and from Marcellus Ellington, who will have on set momentarily when they come back from the post-game interviews. But what stood out to you most in that post-game with Coach and the players?
Well, I think that Coach was talking about his defense, how his defense really focused in, especially in those last 6 minutes, he pointed out. And for me, however, though, Matt, what stuck out to me was the Johnny's three-point shooting. It took them almost 10 minutes into the first half to hit their first three-pointer. And so first half ends, they shot 15% from three, and then it was a totally different story in the second half.
We're going to show you some highlights for a second as Marcellus is coming on set. And, St. John's at one point was trailing by 15. Marcellus, by the way, congratulations. Glad to have you with us. Let me ask you about your role tonight. You're a guy who came off the bench for all of last season, for most of this season, but you've started the last 4 games. How did your responsibility change in the last 2 weeks of the season with this team?
I didn't look at it like that as coming off the bench. I feel like we had 8 starters this year. So, I just came into it like play my game. That's what Coach always preached to me, let it come to me. Work from defense to offense because I know, if I get going on defense, it's going to translate. And that's what I did this game. I struggled the last couple of games, so I got in the gym more. I just tried to get my mind right more, and the outcome was a win. So.
You just mentioned how you kind of felt like you had 8 starters this entire season. You didn't feel like you were one of them coming off the bench. How does that mentality, that group mentality, really help you guys have success when there isn't that, oh, I'm a starter, I'm a bench guy?
Yeah, I think we're all happy for each other's success. So we don't care who's the starter, we don't care who's the bench. Mike Anderson does a good job of playing, using his bench and playing a bunch of players. So, everybody's mindset is the same going into the game. Just go out there and fight and play our brand of basketball.
You got to use a lot of guys running his system, right? He keeps you guys running up and down the floor. Defense, obviously, is a marker of your program under Mike Anderson. You forced 21 turnovers tonight and scored 20 points off of those turnovers. Big reason why you went on a 23-0 run to end the game. My question for you is, around the 6:42 mark, there was a timeout. That's when you guys went on the big run. What was the message in the huddle when you guys were down 15?
The message was to just go out there and play. Stop thinking the game, be more aggressive on defense, move the ball more, and find a mismatch. I think I had a mismatch, and they found me. And we did a good job of doing that all year. And today I had the high hand, and everybody piggybacked off of it. So we played an overall great game. I didn't know we had a 23-0 run until about a couple minutes ago.
They didn't score a bucket for the final 5.5 minutes of the game.
Wow.
Wow is right.
Coach preaches defense, so
yeah, that's right.
I feel like it was bound to happen.
Yeah.
And you just mentioned defense right there. Coach said the last 6 minutes of the game really stood out to him of your team's defensive effort. What was it that was different on defense for you guys in that last 6 minutes?
I feel like it was our sense of urgency. We knew we was home. We just had to take it one stop at a time. Get that loose ball, get that 50-50 ball, get that rebound, and I think we did a good job of doing that the last 6 minutes, and, it translated to a big run.
Let me ask you about the crowd tonight, because it was very St. John's heavy. As the game wore on, there were more fans coming in, and then as you guys were going on the run, the lid was shaking on Madison Square Garden. Just talk about the experience of being able to play in the first round game in front of all these fans who showed out for you guys.
It's an amazing feeling. I grew up watching St. John's basketball, and to be a part of that is just something special. It's something I will remember for the rest of my life. It's something that I'm proud to share with my team and with the coaches. We fought really hard this season, so that was a big win. So I'm very proud of us.
And how about for you personally in this game? You tied it up, and then you got the go-ahead bucket that started this run that your team went on. How is that a special moment for you in this win?
It's everything, the whole game, actually, for me. I was just trying to let it come to me. And, towards the end of the game, I started hitting jump shots. I started finding open people, and they opened up for me. And it was just amazing that I was able to play my overall game and score the way I scored. So.
All right, finally, you guys will take on top-seeded Creighton tomorrow. My question to you is, how does Marcellus Ellington recover after a game with another one tomorrow?
Same mindset I take into every game, Make sure I get to bed early today, make sure I eat a good breakfast, and, try to motivate the team, try to tell them that, this is a game of momentums, and that we just got to take the win we had today and translate it to the next game.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you play again tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining us on the set. Congratulations. St. John's down 15 in the second half, goes on a 23-0 run to take down Georgetown. Marcellus Ellington with over 20 points. LJ Figueroa also had over 20 points. But, Megan, one thing that really stood out to me, 15 offensive rebounds for St. John's. They just wore down Georgetown throughout the course of the night.
They did. That was proof right there, Matt, that this team wasn't giving up. They just continued to go after it, even throughout the droughts where they weren't scoring at times. They were going through those lulls. They didn't give up, and you saw that on the boards.
I think the fact that they made Georgetown defend for long stretches of time, 2, 3, maybe even 4 shots per possession at times in the second half, and this was a Georgetown team that came in with just 6 scholarship players available tonight. I think that really showed at the end, especially with Terrell Allen cramping at the 6:42 mark. That was a big difference in this game.
It was, and we heard Coach allude to it, but the St. John's team really likes to use their bench, and tonight we saw that in full effect of them using that to their benefit because Georgetown had 2 players who played the entire 40 minutes of the game. 2 of their other players played close to that, so St. John's thought, why not just run them down as much as we can and try and use that to our advantage, and they did.
Really was a tale of 2 halves. You talked about it. They shot 15% of the first half from downtown, over 40 in the final 20 minutes. That was a big difference in terms of making that huge run, 23-0. I'd love to get the statistics on the biggest run in the tournament since realignment. That's got to be up there for sure.
Oh, for sure. And that's the best way. You cap it off on that. It wasn't just a 23-0 run in the middle of the game. That's the way you want to go out on top after being down 15 points in the start of the second half. And the composure that this team showed and their resiliency is the real story. And then it also helps to have the home crowd a little bit behind you, right?
So the question is, taking on Creighton tomorrow, can the Johnnies do what they did to Creighton just 10 days ago again tomorrow?
Well, I think for the Johnnies to be able to do that, they need to get that 3-point shooting that they had in the second half. They need to perform like that the entire game because if you have another 3-point shooting game, you shoot 15% from 3 in the first half again, Creighton's going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Creighton, though, will be playing without Marcus Zagorowski, so that will be something to watch tomorrow. You heard Marcellus Ellington talk about mismatches. What can St. John's stir up tomorrow against Creighton? That is the question. It's the first game tomorrow. We've got 4 quarterfinals, but first, we've got a game going on right now. Xavier taking on the 10-seed DePaul. Winner advances, loser goes home. We'll be back to wrap that up later on tonight here at MSG.